Good morning. I was so excited to come up here. I wanted to talk to you even while Michael was playing earlier. So, my name is Angie Urban. My pronouns are she, her. I have long brown hair with some gray sparkles, and I'm wearing a plum blouse. I'm happy to serve today as the worship associate for this morning and to call us to worship with these words. What is it we worship when we gather as you use? Rather than adoration of deity, we gather to practice reverence for all life. We gather weary and uplifted, despairing and hopeful, broken and yet still whole and fully loved. We make our time and space together holy, with our attention and intentions, trusting that our spirits will receive what we need. Let us gather now and bring our focus into this space, physically and virtually, and light our chalice with these words by Jess Reynolds. May we light our wicks from one another until we are all aflame, until we burn out every prejudice we carry in these bones. Here you are, holy as you are, blessed be. And now rise in body and spirit for our opening song, number 1010, We Give Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. We are a congregation of many different ages, bodies, genders, histories, identities, and beliefs. And we are united in our commitment to our mission, which is to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. My name is Reverend Beth Monholland. My pronouns are she, hers. I am a very short, white, middle-aged woman with dark curly hair, wearing, if I do say so myself, a beautiful clerical stole in a Progress Pride rainbow colors, and it is an absolute joy as the lead minister of this congregation to welcome you here today. It's a special service today. We are going to be honoring many, many young people through the bridging stages of childhood. And in case you missed it, we're going to be celebrating Pride just a little bit. So I'm glad, whether you're here in body or joining us afar from the internet, that you've chosen to share your Sunday morning with us. If you're here in the room, I invite you to look around at your neighbors. If folks are wearing color-coded lanyards, yellow or red means they'd like you to maybe just wave from a distance rather than try to hug them, which you should always only do with consent anyway. And if you are a young person in the room today, or young at heart, and you need to keep your hands busy to pay attention, just know that there are coloring and activity packets in the entryway. You are welcome to get those at any time. And if for any reason during the service you need to stretch your legs, you need to get your wiggles out, or just attend to your body's needs, you're always welcome to join the live stream of the service, which is in our fellowship hall. And everyone is also invited for a time of kinship, conversation, and of course coffee immediately after the service in fellowship hall. We hope you will join us there today. Our Children's RE program is on hiatus for the summer, but again, kids are welcome if they need to go into fellowship hall. Our nursery is available for little ones under 6, and the playground, since it's a beautiful day, will be open after the service. And now that I've had the pleasure of getting to greet you all, I invite you this morning to greet your neighbors. If you're here in the room, I'm going to ring the chime, and I invite you to turn around to somebody if you want to get up and walk around and greet somebody you don't know, or somebody you do, that's fine too. And if you're joining us on YouTube, say hello in the chat, and I will ring the chime when it is time for us to come back together. Thank you, everyone, for those lively greetings. I thought, are they going to go back to their seats? And you did. Would have been fine. When we gather each week as a community, we know that each of us is bringing with us our entire lives. We carry the whole of who we are, and we gather with both our joys and our sorrows. And it is an act of spiritual generosity that as a people we make space for our wholeness. We honor our joys and sorrows in a variety of ways here. And today we will be doing an embodied ritual with music, and for those who have been eagerly waiting for spoken joys and sorrows to return, we will share aloud those joys and sorrows folks want to share later in the service. You are welcome to fill out a joy and sorrow card, which you'll find in your pew racks. You can email us at joysandsorrows@uucuc.org. And if you have cards here in the room, just put those in the offering plate later in the service. I want to name this morning, as we begin our embodied ritual, that there is a lot of sorrow in the world today. There has been I literally I don't have words to keep up with the news. And maybe you feel the same way. But just in the past week, there have been an anti-Semitic attacks against people in Boulder, Colorado. There have been horrific ICE raids across the country with escalation of violence in LA as we speak. Wars continue to rage. People are starving in Gaza. And the bills and legislation against LGBTQ and trans people here in the US and across the world continue to plow forward in state and federal legislatures. It's hard. It's hard to say, let's be happy. but I want to remind us that our joys and sorrows live side by side in the world, in our bodies, in our own lived experiences. And it is holy work to name all of the griefs and to also celebrate the life that is worth celebrating. And so this morning, whatever you are personally carrying for yourselves and your family, whatever you are carrying for this world, know that it is welcome here. And so I will invite us, as we sing our blessing song, May the Longtime Son, to come forward, either to the table in the center back or here to the chalice table, where we have bowls of water and we have stones and we have petals. So for each of your sorrows, feel free to place a stone in that water. For the joys you want lifted up, place a petal in that water and watch the stones and the petals be held, just as you and all of your complicated, messy, beautiful human self are held here in this community. This is an act of love. We give and receive together. Let us sing. We have a tradition here in this congregation and in many UU congregations of honoring the young people of our congregation as they graduate out of high school and bridge officially into young adulthood. This year we have 6 young people in our congregation who are at this stage of life, and our Director of Faith Development, Kelly Skinner, reached out to them and their families to invite them for this bridging ceremony, but unsurprisingly, given the frantic pace of life, those kids and families weren't available to be here in person, but we still wanted to acknowledge and celebrate them and their families. And so our young people who have graduated from high school this year are Kai Banning, Jack Brown, David Omoasagi, Kai Schwartz, Avery Torreson, and Evan Schroyer. And while, as far as I know, they aren't here in person, they might have snuck in, but I don't think so. This milestone is still significant, and we want each of them to know if they are listening today from afar or later in the week or month, we want all of those young people to know that they are cherished here. Not just for their potential or the future that they symbolize, but for who they are right now. The world is full of people who walk away from their childhood religion and never look back. I'm one of them. This room is full of people who did some version of that at some point. And here, as Unitarian Universalists, a non-creedal faith, we welcome the wide open possibilities that lie before people. We want young people to know that this bridging into adulthood isn't a bridge to nowhere, but a bridge to everywhere, to everything. And for those young people and anybody else in this room facing a bridge this year, know that wherever your path leads, you can trust that when you return home to this or any other UU church, that you will find that there are people keeping the door open for you, keeping the chalice lit, literally and figuratively, and keeping the building full of song. We promise to each other and to our young people that no matter what the other side of this bridge to adulthood looks like, regardless whether you feel like a UU in 1 year's time or 5 or 20, that you will always have a home here. There will always be a place for you in our pews, a candle for you on Christmas Eve, a flower for you at the flower service. You will always, always have a home. We also, this year, Kelly and I talked, and I'll invite Kelly to come up, want to celebrate the other bridging milestones that happen for young people throughout childhood. And so we also want to celebrate not just those folks bridging into adulthood that I just named, but the ones who are bridging into that last stage of childhood and are beginning high school. Who remembers that? And so we celebrate 9 young folks who are moving into high school this year. Zachary Aguayo Elgin, McKinley Ames Emmerich, Giovanni Bellina, Walker Chapman, Grace Christensen, Ezra Chenoweth, Rufus Claby, Stella Main Ellermitz, and Parker Owens. Some of them might be here. I'm telling you, those high schoolers are like, I gotta sleep on Sunday morning. That is fine. They are with us in spirit. And so we also bless them on this part of their journey, this milestone on a path to adulthood. We bless them with the knowledge that just as our new young adults will always have a home here, so will you, young high schoolers, as you explore new friendships, encounter new ideas and ways of being. May you, as you begin this major part of adolescence, be grounded in your connections to family and faith. And even if your busy high school schedule means you are only here at Christmas, know that you will always be welcomed with open arms and love. May your UU values serve as a foundation to guide you on your journey.
Thank you. And so we also recognize some other milestones today. Not just the stage of bridging to high school and adulthood, but also about transitioning through school and childhood. We have 3 children this morning who are moving into 1st grade. So we have Sawyer Goslin, Porter Levin, and Lucy Chopin-Leff. And if any of those children are here, we invite them to come forward now, if you want to. You are each growing and learning so much this year, and in the coming year, you'll learn even more. And our hope for you as you move into being a big kid in elementary school is that you practice being kind and generous and loving. And in addition to the little ones starting first grade, we have 6 young people who are bridging from elementary school to middle school, and we will also invite them to come forward if they are here. And those are Emma Jean Bartlett Frawley, Owen Cautry, Osmi Kranich Federer, Evie Kryman Crago, Cora Owens, and Evan Weird. It's summertime. So our first graders and our high schoolers and high school graduates, they're all beginning and ending childhood. And while these brand new middle schoolers are at the edge of childhood, moving into adolescence and exploring and embracing who they want to become, our hope for these young people is that they will remember that they are loved by friends and family and by our church community, that we cherish who they are becoming. We trust that they will practice the lessons of our UU values, honoring growth, exploration, and connections as they continue to grow and learn.
So whatever stage of your life you are, this is for everybody, but I'm speaking also to our young folks. And wherever life takes you, the blessings of this congregation are with you. So we don't have a literal bridge, but we are going to make one. You may have noticed. Theo, can you hold up your pool? Yes, if you're on the edges. So here's what we are going to do, something you all did before, and we're doing it again. We are going to invite Lucy, do you want to run through the bridge? Theo, do you want to run through the bridge or hold the bridge? Yes, come on up. Even if you weren't one of the kids whose bridging we named, we recognize that there are so many transitions all of us go through in any given year. And so if you would like to pass under this bridge of beauty and love made by this congregation, come on up, and we want to honor that with this blessing. So I will tell you when you're ready to pass under the bridge, okay, Lucy and Theo? And again, if somebody wants to come up and join Lucy and Theo, no matter your age, you're welcome to do so. Here's my blessing for us. Yeah, come on up, Winona. We honor you for all you have been, all you are, and all you will be. May what you have learned here support you and inspire you as we move together into deeper understanding of what matters and of how we all collectively want to live. We pledge our love and support to you. May your mind be clear, your heart trustworthy, your body whole, and your path unconstrained. And may you always be as loved and supported as you are today. You are a blessed child of this world, and we welcome you to whatever the next chapter of your life. May it bring you every blessing imaginable. Now go through the bridge and be blessed. Go on, you all. Woohoo! Processing slowly through the Rainbow Bridge. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Kelly. Thank you, bridge builders. You're amazing. Thank you, Angie, for holding up 2 posts of that bridge. And now I'll invite Angie back up to guide us through talking about our community matters and our offering. Out of here. Oh, but we're supposed to sing a song. Thank God. I know Angie's like, aren't we going to have music? We are having music to celebrate these transitions. Thank you. So please rise in body or spirit for Wo Ya Ya, hymn number 1020. We are going.
We live our mission at this congregation in many ways. Building community means welcoming new members and also connecting day to day and week to week through the opportunities both written and beyond our congregation. We invite you to subscribe to and read our weekly e-news to stay up to date on all the activities offered through our REE program and our social action councils. This morning, I want to highlight a few things. Join the Queer UUs and Allies Coalition, otherwise known as QUAC, for a potluck meeting with some trivia this Friday on June 13th at 6 p.m. in Fellowship Hall. Everyone is welcome. The Immigrant Justice Team is hosting a Know Your Rights training designed to empower allies with the knowledge and tools to support Champaign-Urbana's immigrant communities on Saturday, June 14th from 9 to 10:30 a.m., also in the Fellowship Hall here at UUCUC. You can read more details about these and other events in our e-news and check out the full calendar of events on Realm. And now I would like to invite Pat McClard, there he is, the chair of our safety team, to come forward for a safety and security reminder.
Good morning. My name is Pat McClard, like Angie said. My pronouns are he, him. I'm tallish, portly, formerly redhead, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe now, but there was a day. Like Angie said, I want to just do a quick, trying to do these quarterly, reminder on what we do in the event of an emergency. The first thing I want to cover is evacuation. So you may not know there are more exits than the one that you come in, but if you're on this side of the church and we need to evacuate, that's probably your best bet. There are doors here on the right side or west side if you're, if you know your directions. The doors there lead out to another set of double doors that go downstairs. Also in the back there's a door that also has an exit to a single door. As I'm sure everyone knows by now, we have a ramp. So if you have mobility challenges, you can use that ramp if we need to exit. And also, if you happen to be up here, this door also is an exit. So I don't encourage people to use that one because it's narrow. And so that's really a 1 or 2 person deal. Just want to make sure that everyone knows how to get out of the building if they need to. I also want to remind folks, we're sort of in tornado season. If there is a tornado warning and we need to go to the place that's safest, that is going to be downstairs in the kind of hallway between this part of the church, the old part of the church, and the new part of the church where the classrooms are. There's a hallway there without windows, and that's really the safest place. If you do have mobility issues and you can't get down those stairs, then we ask that you go just inside the restrooms that are in Fellowship Hall. Don't go all the way in because there's a window at the end, but if you go just inside the doorway, that's going to be the best place for you. Thanks for your attention. Have a good day.
Thank you, Pat. Each Sunday, in recognition of our very real interdependence and reliance on each other, we pass the plate and share our offering with an organization doing the work of justice in the world. Our shared offering partner for June is Greater Community of AIDS Project of East Central Illinois, whose mission is to empower members of our community who are HIV positive and to eliminate the transmission of HIV through education and advocacy. You can give through Realm and via the online portal on our website, Or if you are here in the sanctuary, the basket will be passed, and checks can be made out to UU, CUC, and the memo put shared offering. Half of all non-pledge donations will go towards sustaining the work of this church, and the other half will go directly to our shared offering partner. We invite you to give whatever is generous for you. This is also the time to submit your written joys and sorrows.
Thank you all for your generosity and for all the many ways that you generously give, not just your money, but your time and your talents and your love to this community. We have a few weeks of joys and sorrows to share aloud. We've had special services over the last few weeks with lots of extra things. And yes, please, if you have Joys and Sorrows cards, thank you, Anne. Just feel free to bring those on up to me. As I say when I introduce our Joys and Sorrows ritual, it's an act of spiritual generosity to make this time for each other and to lift up those things aloud that folks need to share. So I'm going to start, and we have a lot because it's a few weeks, like I said. So I'm going to start with some things that were shared in May. This was a sorrow from Jody Hanger. Jody shared that Jessica Johnson, a dedicated teacher's aide at Westview Elementary for many years, passed away on May 10th. She was an amazing foster parent to 6 children, and there is a great deal of sadness for the family and all those lives. This is from Leah Barr. Leah shared a couple of weeks ago that she would like prayers and thoughts requested for her mom and her mom's beloved dog, Ryder, who would soon be crossing the Rainbow Bridge. They rescued Ryder when he was a puppy and gave him a good life, just as he gave them lots and lots of joy. This is from Kat. Kat shared that an old high school friend contacted her. And while Kat was nervous at first to reach back because high school was not, as Kat says, the best time, it ended up being a good connection. And Kat says, I don't regret reaching back out at all. It was a nice reminder that even though I had pain in the past, I don't have to hide it, and I can reach out to the silver linings. This is from June 1st, from Doug Jones, a joy that the Illinois House of Representatives passed the MAID, that's the Medical Aid in Dying Act, and it now goes to the Illinois Senate and then to the governor. A joy from Susan Altari, joy for the wonderful Quack bonfire that was organized by that group. I am so joyful and happy to have found such a great community. And this is from Damien, who shares that they are mourning an ending to a relationship and the life we hoped we would build, celebrating home ownership and a new chapter, mourning the dignity that was not afforded me in childhood, but celebrating that I remember my worth and the worth of all. From Aaron. This is from last week. Aaron shared, today I am happy to finally be an official member of UCUC in body, mind, and in spirit as we were welcomed as new members ceremonially. This feels like home and is the most comfortable I have ever been in a church, even with being part of UU's for the last 25 years. Welcome, Aaron and all other new members. Also from last week, Doug Jones shared a joy for the UUC potluck that we had last Sunday on June 1st. Doug says it was a wonderful church-wide event, and the UUC men's group joined together to provide rib tips, chicken wings, and hot dogs, all which were eaten up, thank you. And I hope this will become a UUC men's group tradition. A joy from David Gross. On Wednesday, this was last week, so this past Wednesday was the 59th wedding anniversary for Claudia and David Gross. Happy anniversary, 59 years. And they still like each other. They love to travel. Love lasts, y'all. It does. From Aaron Slayton. Today I have both joys and sorrows. The joy is that the farm recently had new additions. An abandoned cat became a new member of our household, and a litter of kittens arrived from our Havana Browns. And it is Pride Month, and our welcoming congregation is something to be thankful for. A joy from Sam Bashir's. Joy and gratitude for the knowledgeable, thoughtful, and generous people who are providing updates and perspectives on our political situation. It feels like a small joy next to enormous sorrows. Amen. A sorrow from Jerry Carden. Sorrow for our transgender friends and family whose voices are marginalized and often ignored. They fear for their identity being ripped apart from them by the government and are under tremendous stress. We wish them strength for the times ahead and offer them support. Jerry and Tim. A joy from Kate McDowell. I received word that I'll be promoted to full professor in August 2025. I'm so grateful for the support of this community. Congratulations, Kate. That journey through academia is no joke, so congrats to you and all of you. And a few more written cards. This is from Renona. I know she's back there. I have my glasses off. You all are a beautiful blur right now, but I can see these words. It's my birthday on June 11th, and I'm really excited. I will be 8. Renona, happy birthday. And this is from Susan. Notable to get a medication I need due to cost. Oh, what a blessing when it comes through. Congratulations on that. From Dewey Jones, next Saturday, please join the No Kings protest at Meadowbrook Park from 10 to 2. It's part of the nationwide No Kings action. We'll make sure that gets promoted in the e-news and the church's Facebook. From Sandy Hannum, it is such a joy to see Gabby and Steve, Lynette and Jeffrey again. Fabulous. And this is from Joseph Monfort. This week, my wife and I will be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. We've been through a lot together, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else. Terry, you are my joy. More anniversaries, congratulations. From Ursula, a joy, thankful for a wonderful gathering with friends this weekend. And from Barbara Hudgens, my sister Margie, I'm so sorry. My sister Margie died yesterday in Tacoma. She had suffered from dementia for many years. Barbara, I'm holding you in love for that. I'm going to check online one more time, dear ones. I think that is all that has come through for today. And I would like us to take a moment of silence for all that we've shared aloud today, for all that we are still and always carrying silently in our hearts. We say thank you for this community, for holding space for us. Let us have a moment of stillness together to honor all that we are. Thank you. We have a reading this morning in honor of Pride Month for all of our queer beloveds, for all that we are. Jordan James will share our reading.
Good morning. I am Jordan James. I use they, them pronouns. My visual description, I'm of average height, brown hair, I'm white, and I'm wearing a yellow sweater and a floral button-up. This is a praise hymn for my pronouns by Micah Busey. I sing the body eclectic, electrified by the embrace of my own ownership. I am my own creator and creation. Imagination erupting to disrupt my old me, winding out to find out who I will be. There are tiny ones watching, witnessing the ways in which we either invent or prevent liberation. I cry to them, I am he, she, they, it, sie, zir, non, and none. Reshaped, respun. Words are never the entire story, but they are the thresholds to new molds. Don't be told who you are. Let bold new tales unfold. Fearfully and wonderfully, we are remade. Every time we transcend the push to pretend, divinity ratcheted to infinity, salt and light, bright and tasty, if we will get out of, illuminate, and flavor the way. I sing a song I must relearn each day. Be the one you needed, before the world proceeded to break and box you. Belong to yourself, and family will find you. Stretch your soul to hold the holy parts that make you whole, then rise above all that can be named or tamed, and become the kingdom come, every freed part a fresh start, every inch that was once shamed, claimed, every I, the why, showing the way to we. Thank you.
Thank you. Every I showing the why on the way to we. If any of you have heard even a few of my sermons, you know that part of my theology is grounded in the idea of our mutuality, our very real interdependence on one another. There is no I without we. We only become who we are in relationship to other people. And today we are celebrating the becoming of our young people. Our bridging ceremony names and honors and celebrates the ways in which we collectively shape our children and make space for them to become who they will be. And it's Pride Month. And Pride, in case you missed my sermon last year, which was a history of pride in America, it's fine. I'll do it again another time. Pride is not about rainbows and parties. Pride grew out of the frustrations of people who were told that they were not enough, that they were too much, that they shouldn't exist, that they had to hide, that they had to be in closets, that they shouldn't exist at all. Pride is also about honoring our becoming fully, wholly, authentically who we are. And that, dear ones, is the core of our theology as Unitarian Universalists. Whether you believe in God or are an atheist or somewhere on that spectrum of, I don't know, maybe, that is fine. Because when I'm talking about our theology, what I mean are the guiding ideas that tell us none of us has the whole truth, none of us has all the answers, that all of us are always, just like the universe in which we live or the creator that we might claim, in the process of becoming who we are, never quite done, which means we don't have to aim for perfection, which means we don't have to be afraid of the uncertainty and the lack of answers. We live into being who we are together. And that is challenging in the best of times, which, in case you missed it, we do not live in. We live in a world that we have made, we collectively as humans, that has taken centuries to build, a world steeped in white supremacy, patriarchy, that creates, as writer, poet, and activist Sonia Renee Taylor named, ladders of hierarchies in our actual systems that say, you matter and you don't, you get resources and you don't. But ladders of hierarchies we erect in ourselves. And to dismantle those external systems means that we must also grapple with the ways that those ladders exist inside of us, the ways that we have internalized white supremacy, misogyny, homophobia and transphobia, classism, the ways in which we judge ourselves and each other, whether we are aware of it or not. Our work as a spiritual community is to become aware of it. To tear the ladders down, as Sonia Renee Taylor calls us to do. Because the work of people seeking personal and collective liberation means that we know if we are always becoming, so are those around us. That we know we won't always get it right, that we will actually rarely get it right, and that the struggle, like our becoming, is also ongoing. It's challenging to name that. There are people in this room, and I'm looking at you. I know you and I see you, who for longer than I have been alive have been working for liberation, have been working to live your whole authentic selves. And you've had moments where you're like, look how much progress we've made. You know, it's been a decade since the Obergefell Supreme Court case, a decade of marriage equality being the law of the land. It took over 40 years of concerted activism for that case to happen. I remember many of you do, being like, oh my God, something right. The year before that, I conducted my very first marriage ceremony. I wasn't yet a UU minister. I wasn't even yet saying aloud that I felt called to UU ministry. But two of my dearest friends I met at my women's college back in the 90s, and who are the longest running relationship I personally know, wanted to make it legal. And we couldn't yet in Wisconsin, and they said, hey, we could get legally married in Washington. If we go out there, will you come and will you marry us? And I said, abso-freaking-lutely. It was wonderful. And the next year, the relief they felt knowing that that marriage ceremony would be recognized no matter where they went. And we know this, that Roe fell a few years ago. And when it did, Clarence Thomas said, oh, we can go after the rest of it now. We have progress, but we think of it as linear when really it's circular and cyclical. And so the struggle of becoming, the struggle of making the world more just goes on. 10 years ago, I was celebrating that Supreme Court case, and 9 years ago later this week, I was grieving, as so many of you were, the massacre at the Pulse nightclub in Miami. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. We're in a dance with the universe. We're in a dance with ourselves. And so we must keep in it together, that ongoing becoming, the ongoing work of tearing down those ladders. I know it's exhausting. I know we are tired. I know we are tired of having year after year to say, what about our beloveds whose lives are literally in danger? But it is that work that we are called to do, and it is holy and it is good work. And it is work we do as a congregation as part of the wider Unitarian Universalist Association. Many of you know that we have a welcoming congregation designation. Many people are confused about what that means. And I know because I get pulled into conversations with lots of people, members, friends, random strangers, who are like, if you're a welcoming congregation, how come you don't welcome blah, 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 and blah, 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 and other people that they keep wanting to name. And I have to say to them, dear ones, as I've said multiple times in services from this pulpit in the time I've been here, we welcome all people. We do not welcome all ideas. But the welcoming congregation is not that. It's not we welcome all people. Welcoming congregation is a very specific designation that grew out of LGBTQ activism over 25 years ago, of people saying we have been rejected, kicked out, harmed, and scarred by the churches and synagogues and temples of our childhoods. We have been told we have nowhere to go, that we don't belong anywhere. And so we've made our own spaces, mostly over here at bars and clubs and underground gay places where we are safe and can be fully, wholly, authentically ourselves. And people said, Holy Lord, people being Unitarian Universalists, if we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people, as our principles stated that we do, then how can we say, you queer people, you trans people, you poly people, you people who don't fit what we want, respectability, politics, to approve for us, you have to hide who you are. You have to leave parts of yourself outside the door. We are uncomfortable with your presence here, so only show up as half yourself. We realized as a people that we had been saying that, if not in actual words, then by our actions. And so we said, we need to change that. That ladder, we recognized that ladder in us, and we did the work to start tearing that ladder down. And we created a process called welcoming congregations, because welcoming at the time in the early 90s meant you're welcomed here, gay person, because we recognize you're not welcome anywhere else. And so we did the work as an association of what would it mean if we truly tore that ladder down and made space for all people in their wholeness. And then how do we help congregations commit to that work? Not as a one and done, not we did it and we get to pat ourselves on our back, but in the acknowledgement that it's an ongoing struggle, it's ongoing work for us to continue to learn and grow and deepen our love for each other. And so we have a team of people here. I'm looking at you, Jerry Carden and Tim Temple, who have come, and Gail, who's been on the welcoming congregation team who's present today? Go ahead and stand up. I want you to be acknowledged. It's holy work, but it's the work of saying, we know we've built the ladders, we know we have the hierarchies, and so we will tear it down. On a side note, speaking of the places where queer people have been safe throughout their lives, which is not a whole lot of places, did you know that in the 1920s in Berlin, Germany, there were over 100 active gay and lesbian bars, and places where folks who were transgender, although we didn't quite have that language 100 years ago, could go and be themselves? Over 100. That's more than the known gay bars in America right now. When the Nazis came to power, part of what they did before they built the gas chambers was attack political dissidents who disagreed with them, and they started shutting down the gay bars. And they started attacking the doctors and the psychiatrists who for decades at that point, decades in the 1930s, had been helping people transition, had been helping people live full, whole lives, and who had a wealth of medical research about how valid trans experiences are. Trans people aren't new. What we did, we systematically tried to erase them from existence, and we keep buying into it. Because right now, today, in America and around the world, we have been fed a whole bunch of lies about how dangerous trans people are, particularly trans women. There are laws in this country, there are debates around legislation here and everywhere around the world about should children have access to gender-affirming care, which we know saves lives. Hundreds of millions of dollars from 3 right-wing pseudo-Christian organizations have been at work for 2 decades, pumping money into an anti-trans, anti-abortion, because reproductive rights are linked to that, propaganda machine here and around the world. If you right now believe there's something wrong with trans women in sports, if you right now believe that trans women are a threat to you, I want you to know you've been lied to by a deliberate misinformation machine, by white supremacists who have spent literally nearly $1 billion to fund that lie here and all over the planet. Trans women aren't a threat to you, beloveds. Trans women are in danger. They are some of the most marginalized people on this planet, particularly trans Black women. It is our holy work to tear down that ladder that tells us the lies about some people mattering and some people not. I wasn't sure if I was going to go there. I just get very angry about it. I get angry about the fact that J.K. Rowling spent multi-millions of her personal wealth on the case in England right now that has stripped trans women of protections. I get angry about the white supremacists who are lying to us, not because they care about women or children, not because they're actually even afraid of gay people, but because they want power and control, and this is how they do it. They make us afraid. And when they do that, just like when the Nazis came for political dissidents and queer people, that isn't where it stops. Nobody is safe. Nobody is protected by attacking trans people. Not now and not 100 years ago in Nazi Germany. Collective liberation means when we make the world safe for the most marginalized, the most demonized, all of us are better. And we only have to look right now in America at the fact that all the absolute lying frenzy about trans women has made cis women less safe too. If you don't look like what somebody's idea of a woman is, they will follow you, cis person, into the bathroom and make you have to prove who you are. Our children aren't safe. You aren't safe when trans people are not safe. The work of what we need to do to tear down those ladders, to have both pride and joy with and for each other, can feel so daunting. I can get stuck in my anger, and so to close today, I want to tell you about a fabulous book, The Nerd in Me. I go to the Champaign Library at least once a week. I work there, I study there, and I always check out the new releases, and this came across the new release desk. It's by a British queer writer named Ellen Jones. It's called Outrage, Why the Fight for LGBTQ plus Equality is Not Yet Won and What We Can Do About It. And it's called Outrage. By the way, I brought another Outrage for Pride packet from last week. I was like, theme is happening because I also am outraged. But we can get stuck in our anger and outrage, and our anger is valid, our outrage is real. There's so much to be angry about. But what do we do with it? And what I love about what Ellen Jones, who is a young queer British writer and journalist, is that each chapter she outlines the outrageous things happening in England and across the globe to queer people of all stripes, from housing inequality to healthcare to education to the lack of safe spaces to being rejected by families, for the danger to refugees and immigrants across the world, and even to what does it mean to be queer and religious. The outrageous laws, the outrageous acts of violence. But then she doesn't stop there. In each chapter, she tells you about people, she calls it putting in the work. Every chapter has at least 2 to 3 people right now putting in the work to address the issue in that chapter. And then, as if that's not enough, she closes it with, what can you do where you are? And then gives us concrete ideas. So I want to tell us some concrete ideas we can do, because my anger and outrage will sit and consume me. Your anger and outrage will consume you, but that is not all that we are. So here's what we can do. We can keep showing up for one another. We can support and expand our welcoming congregation team to make sure we meet that very low bar to be able to say we are indeed a welcoming congregation. We can support Uniting Pride of Champaign County in all of their vital, life-giving, life-saving work. We can continue to support Urbana Pride. Pride Fest, by the way, they just announced this week, is going to be October 18th through the 26th. The Pride Parade and Fair will be on Saturday, October 25th. Put it in your calendars right now. We can give to that. We can show up for that. And the other thing we can do is support QUAC, our own Queer UUs and Allies Coalition. Jordan's a member of QUAC. So is Angie. So are a whole lot of you. But part of why that is important is so that people have a place to belong, they feel seen and heard. And I'm sorry, I know this is going long, you all, but it's important to name this, because what I want you to remember is that we have a right to be angry. We have a right to be outraged. God knows too many of us have a real right to be afraid, but that cannot be all of who we are. Queer joy matters, and queer joy will save us. And I want to name for you, in her chapter on safe spaces, what Ellen Jones has to say about this. She quotes, A woman named Karen, who is from Cork, Ireland, who was talking about coming out as a lesbian in the 90s and the amazing queer dance club she went to. And Karen said it was so vibrant, we had so much fun. And so Ellen Jones says, fun isn't frivolous. It can feel difficult to experience and to prioritize when under threat, but fun is a kind of quiet, and let's face it, at times not so quiet, rebellion. Finding joy, not just in the face of hardships, but because of it. Queer spaces become sanctuaries. We can be a queer sanctuary, and that means we are a safe place, not just for all of our queer people, but for all of us. So show up and do the work and write your legislators and march, and also come to karaoke and the potluck, and by God, dear ones, have fun together. That is partly what we are here for, is to reclaim joy. And I want you to do that together. And so I'll close with a blessing. As you think about how you might claim joy and have fun, I want you also to know that you are loved here, just as our children bridging into and out of childhood, you all, each and every one of you, whether you are 18 or about to turn 7 like Lucy, or 95, we're all always becoming. We're finding our way into that we together. And so I offer us this blessing today. Where we have faced rejection, may we create a place of welcome. Where we have endured isolation and loneliness, may we create a place of belonging. Where we have been told to hide and fear, may we sing and dance and play. Where we have been bruised by shame, may we embrace pride. Where we have been bowed down by the weight of despair, may we be lifted up with joy. May we be the ones we needed when we were young. May we be the ones our young ones need now. May we be who we need as we fully become together and bridge to a brighter world. May it be so, and amen. And now I would like you to rise in body or spirit and sing what is becoming my personal anthem, Fire of Commitment, number 1028. yourself and for those around you. Be the bridge with joy, with laughter, with play, and for heaven's sake, have some fun in this Pride season. And we will extinguish our flame with our usual words from Reverend Elizabeth Sully Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the warmth of truth, the community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.